Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Pencil Biology. In today's video we are going to learn about hypersensitivity and its type. First of all, if we see what happened in this condition is that our body is becoming vigorously active against an antigen that is very less harmful to our body, or it is not at all harmful our body. Still our body is becoming vigorously active, or it is showing vigorous response against an antigen that is very less harmful, or it is not at all harmful, very less or not at all harmful to our body. If we talk about hypersensitivity, then total 4 type of hypersensitivity occurs in our body. We'll see them one by one. So if we see in what are the hypersensitivity, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Total 4 type of hypersensitivities are there. If we talk about the first hypersensitivity, it occurs due to the antibody IgE. The second type of hypersensitivity occurs due to two antibodies, either IgG or either IgM. The third type hypersensitivity occurs due to the immune complexes. What is immune complex? Immune complex is the condition when antibody is attached with the antigen. The fourth type hypersensitivity occurs due to the T cells that are a part of our immune cells. We are going to see one by one. But first of all, if I talk about hypersensitivity type 1, it is also known as immediate type hypersensitivity. As the name suggests, immediate. Why it is known as immediate? Because in this the response are seen in very short period of time. So that is why it is known as immediate type hypersensitivity, because the response is shown in short time after we have come in contact with the allergen or antigen. If we talk about type 4 hypersensitivity, then type 4 hypersensitivity is known as delayed type hypersensitivity. Why it is known as delayed type hypersensitivity? Because in this the response is created in some time, like it takes 1 to 2 days to see the response. So it takes 1 to 2 days, while in this immediate response is seen. We'll go by one. Let's first concentrate on the first type hypersensitivity. So here is a picture that is showing in short about for type 1 hypersensitivity. We'll see one by one what it is telling us. So if we talk about hypersensitivity type 1, why it is occurring? Because we are coming in contact with the antigen. So how it will start? When we come in contact with any type of antigen, this antigen can be a pollen grain. Yes, it can be a pollen grain. It can be a peanut. It can be egg. It can be penicillin, that is medicine. It can be any normal thing that are normal for many human beings, but it can create allergy in some of the human beings. So these all are known as allergens, as they are causing allergy in our body. Allergens, as well as they can be known as antigen. So now what will happen? Right now we are coming in contact with these molecules first time. The human is coming in contact with this molecule for the first time. So for example, I have an allergy with a peanut and I have consumed peanut for the first time. So what will happen? This peanut, that is allergen, has come in my body or in a human being body. It will go and it will bind with the naive B cell. Naive are coming in contact with the allergen for the first time, or any antigen with the first time. So what happens in the P cells plasma membrane, there are two receptors present, that is IgM and that is IgD. Yes, these two are antibodies, but they are right now membrane bound receptors. So these two are membrane bound receptor. First of all, the allergen will come in contact with this receptor molecule. After that, what will happen? These allergen will be taken up by the B cells and it will modify this allergen, and just some part of this allergen, just some specific part of the allergen will be shown to another cell. What this naive B cell has done, it has binded with the allergen molecule through its receptors. After that, it has taken the allergen and it has modified the allergen in such a way that only some part of the allergen is shown to another cell, that is T helper 2 cell. It is showing T helper 2 cell that, see, I have allergens antigen. After that, what will happen? When the T helper 2 cell will see this, it will become active. After that, what it will do? It will release interleukin 4 and interleukin 13. Why it is releasing interleukin 4 and interleukin 13? To tell naive B cell to get mature and to get converted. Right now it's immature and it is giving the message to naive B cell to mature. So what will happen? This IgM will undergo heavy chain class switching to IgE, or what we can say in short, it will start to make IgE antibody. Right now it was not making any kind of IgE antibody, but now it will start making IgE antibody. So now what will happen, this naive B cell is converted into two type of cells. One is plasma cell and one is memory cell. This plasma cell, what it will do, it will start releasing allergens specific IgE antibody. It will start releasing, it is secreting IgE antibody. While memory cell will not secrete any kind of IgE antibody, it just have the memory that yes, something like that has occurred in my body, and if next time I will come in contact with the same allergen, I will react very quickly. So it just have the memory that yes, this thing has occurred previously. Now what will happen, this plasma cell has released IgE antibody. This IgE antibody will go and bind with the mast cell, or it can bind with the basophil cell. Okay, how it will bind? If we see the structure of antibody has this kind of structure. Here it has FAB part, and here it has FC part. So this FC part will bind with its FC receptor. It will bind with FC receptor. And where the FC receptor is present, it is present on the plasma membrane of mast cell or basophil cell. So here you can see this blue structure is what? This blue structure is FC receptor for IgE. It's specifically for one antibody, and that is IgE. Now what will happen? This IgE has come and bind with this receptor. So what has occurred in this condition? IgE antibody is bounded with the FC receptor of the mast cell. That's it. This occurs when we have come in contact with the antigen for the first time. Now what will happen, after some days I have come in contact with the same antigen for the second time. For example, I have consumed peanuts for the second time. Okay, first of all, nothing happened in my body. I have not shown any kind of response, so I am thinking yes, everything is normal. But when I will come in contact with second time, I will consume second time the allergen, then what will happen? Then this mast cell already have IgE antibody bound with its FC receptor. It already has this. So now this allergen molecule will directly come and bound with the IgE antibody, which is bound to FC receptor. It will directly come here. It won't go here. It won't repeat all these steps. It will directly come and bound with this sensitized mast cell or sensitized basophil cell. After binding, what will happen? This allergen binding with the IgE antibody and with FC receptor that is bound to the mast cell, it will create a signaling. It will create a signaling inside the mast cell, due to which mast cell will release its granules. It will become degranulation. It will release its granules. What are granules? Granules are the structures that are having some kind of molecules. For example, it will release histamine, heparin, protease. Okay, it will start releasing these kind of molecule. Now what these kind of molecule will do, they will cause vasodilation. What is vasodilation? That is, they will increase the diameter of blood vessel. With that, what they will do, they will contract the smooth muscles. They will contract the smooth muscles. After that, what protease will do? Protease will start breaking collagen as well as elastin. It will also start forming mucus in your body. After that, some more molecules are also released, like leukotrienes and prostaglandins. These kind of molecules are also released in your body, and they will also perform vasodilation and smooth muscle contraction. Now in all, what will happen in this condition is that your blood vessels have become dilated, so more blood is pumping in your body and more blood is coming on your skin. With that, smooth muscles are contracted, especially the smooth muscles of your bronchi and bronchioles. Those are also contracted, due to which the size of bronchi and bronchioles has been reduced. And if it is reduced, less amount of air will be able to pass. With that, mucus secretion is also occurring in your bronchi and bronchioles, due to which the path is once again blocked and less amount of air will be passed. So these all condition will occur. With that, blood platelets will also accumulate in the location where all this thing is happening. With that, the condition is not over. With that, what will happen, these mast cell will also release some number of cytokines. What are cytokines? These are the molecules that will activate some another cell. So what will happen, these cytokines will go and bind with some other cells and they will activate these cells. So what these cell will do, these cell will release chemokines. What is chemokines? Chemokines are the molecules that will attract cells that yes, come here, come here, come here. Due to which what will happen, eosinophils will go there and will get attracted. Now what will happen, these eosinophils and these neutrophils will also start to release chemokines. They will also release chemokines. So more number of cell will come here. More number of cell starts to come here. They are releasing more and more number of chemokines. More and more number of cells are coming here. More and more number of cells are activating here. So due to which what is happening, more and more number of destruction is occurring. First of all, histamine heparin will cause vasodilation. It will cause the contraction of the smooth muscle. With that, protease will cause damaging the proteins. With that, leukotrienes and prostaglandins will also cause bronchial smooth muscles contraction and vasodilation. With that, these cells will cause phagocytosis. So in all, it will cause the damage and it will cause allergy. So allergy is also known as anaphylactic reaction, in which our body become rashes. We get very much of redness in our skin and we have difficulty in breathing, for example in asthma conditions. So this is all what type 1 hypersensitivity looks like. Here you can see the short explanation of this also, that AG induces cross linking of IgE bound to mast cell and basophil with release of vasoactive mediators. I hope this is clear in the video. So it is saying the same thing, and it will cause allergies, asthma, hay fever, and this all can occur due to any common food material or any common medicine or due to the pollen grain. So this is type 1 hypersensitivity. If we talk about type 2 hypersensitivity, as I have already mentioned, this occurs due to the IgG antibodies or it occurs due to the IgM antibody. Now what happened? This can occur by 3 steps. The destruction can occur by 3 steps. First of all, what will happen? For example, here is some cell is present. For example, here you can see here is a target cell present. Target cell is the cell that contains the antigen. So it contains the antigen. What will happen? Same antibody will come and bind with the antigen. So here IgG can come or IgM can come and it will bind with the antigen. After that, same, what will happen, there will be receptor present for the IgG or IgM FC part, but this receptor is right now not present on the mast cell. It will present on ADCC cell. What are ADCC cell? ADCC cell are antigen dependent cytotoxic cell, also known as natural killer cell. As the name is suggesting, natural killer, they will kill. So now what will happen, these cell will become activated when this antibody is bound with their FC receptors. Now these ADCC cell will start to release some of the molecules and some of the enzymes that are commonly known as perforin and grain enzyme. They will start release 2 enzymes that are perforin and grain enzyme. What this perforin will do, this perforin will attack on the plasma membrane of the pathogen or the cell, and it will create pores on its plasma membrane. It has started forming pores on its plasma membrane. While using this pore, grain enzyme will come inside the cell and it will cause destruction of the cell. So in this way, perforin or grain enzyme will they will damage the target cell and they will kill the target cell. In this way ADCC will work. This is the first method how this hypersensitivity will work. 2 more methods are there. Second is through complement activation. What is complement activation? Is basically complement system or complement are basically proteins. They are small protein molecules that can create a huge impact on your body. What they will do, they will also come and they will bind with the antigen normal. Okay. Now what they can do, they can also create pores on the plasma membrane. They will initiate a cascade in which one by one complement proteins are getting activated. For example, once 3B is activated, then C4 is activated, then C5 is activated, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9. whole cascade of proteins is getting activated. Finally, what they will do, they will create a pore in the plasma membrane of the pathogen. And if the pore is made, then obviously the cell will not be able to survive, because there is specific amount of things are present in the cell, for example water, salts. If pores are formed, this concentration will not be able to maintain, so due to which the cell will not be able to survive. So this is how complement system will work. These are the two method. The third method is nothing special. In this, what will happen is that the antigen that is bound with the antibody, here the antibody that is bound with the antigen, it will act as a opsonin molecule. It will act as a opsonin molecule. What these molecules are, they will go and bind with the phagocytic cell. What they will do, they will go and bind with the phagocytic cell. For example, macrophage. They will come and bind with the macrophage. So what this macrophage will do, this macrophage will engulf this cell. It will engulf this cell with the antibody. So this is the third condition. So what are the three conditions? First, either it will activate ADCC, or it will act a complement system, or it can activate the phagocytic cells. Either way, the cell will be destroyed. Now, how it can lead to problem, or how it can lead to hypersensitivity is that, for example, if we take the example of RBC, for example, if one person blood group is A blood group, so on its RBC, specifically A antigen will be present. A antigen B will be present. And second person whose blood group is B, on its plasma membrane, B antigen will be present. B antigen will be present. In A person's body, A antibody will not form because A antigens are present in its body. So A antibody won't form in its body, but B antibody are forming in its body. B antibody will definitely form in its body because B antigens are not present normally in its body. Now what happened? By mistake, transfusion has occurred, and this person whose blood group is A has been transfused with the blood group or with the RBC that contains B antigen. Now what will happen? You can see what will happen. This B antibody comes and bind with this B antigen. If it will bind with B antigen, it can activate any of the three things that we have seen. It can activate ADCC, it can activate a complement system, it can activate some phagocytic cells. So obviously what it will do, it has activated now complement system. Now what this complement system will do, complement system will create pore in the RBCs. Of whom RBCs? That we have transfused. So now what will happen? Now this RBC will be destructed. Now due to which, if they are destructed, hemoglobin level will increase our blood in our body, because hemoglobin has been released from the RBC. With that they will be converted into bilirubin, biliverdin. So these the amount of bilirubin, biliverdin will be increased in our blood plasma. It will increase in our urine. With that, hemoglobin amount is also increased in our kidney. So in all, it is creating a lot number of destruction as B blood group has transfused in our body, and it will create a type 2 type of hypersensitivity. Another examples, there are a number of examples that are occurring. For example, we have talked already about blood transfusion. After that, erythroblastosis fetalis, that occurs when the mother is Rh negative blood group and the baby is with Rh positive blood group. And in that condition, same as occurring in this, same that kind of condition will occur if the mother is Rh negative and the fetus, we can say if the fetus is Rh positive, then what will happen? This mother will create antibody against the Rh positive, and it can result in the destruction of the fetal RBCs. So this condition can also occur, but in this fun condition is to keep in mind that when first pregnancy is occurring, when first pregnancy will occur, the fetal blood and the mother's blood are separated by the placenta. So there's no issue, because if mother has to create antibody, it is necessary that the fetal blood should come in contact with the mother's blood. But during first pregnancy, the both bloods are separated, so no problem will occur. But during the delivery of the first child, first delivery, the blood group of or the blood of fetus will come in contact with the mother. Now what will happen? Now the mother will start secreting, or it will start forming antibodies against this blood, against this RBC of fetus. But the baby is delivered, so there's no issue. But what will happen when the mother is pregnant with the second baby? So now what will happen? Mother already has a memory. So now what will happen? This mother will once again start to produce antibodies like IgG antibody. Now this IgG antibody can cross the placenta and it can destruct the fetus blood or fetus RBC. So it can cause hemolysis in the second pregnancy, not in the first pregnancy but in the second pregnancy. So this kind of condition will also a type of hypersensitivity part 2, and hemolytic anemia, that is autoimmune hemolytic anemia, is that if our body, for example, if our body has started making antibodies against our own antigen. For example, if my blood group is A blood group and I contain A antigen, normally what should has happened? Normally my body shouldn't have formed any antibody against my antigen. But my body has autoimmune disorder, due to which it is start forming A antibody against my antigen. So now what will happen? The process is similar to the previous one. Complement system will get activated and it will start destroying my own cells, my own RBCs, and it will cause autoimmune hemolytic anemia. So this kind of condition will occur when autoimmune disorder is there. So these are some of the example of type 2 hypersensitivity. Now let's move further and talk about hypersensitivity part 3, that is occurring due to the immune complex. So if we talk about this, what is happening? Normally what happen if, for example, in our body some antigen has come in our body and antibody is bound with it. Now normally what will happen? Normally this will be cleared by our immune system. This is a normal process that this will be cleared. But due to some reasons, this antigen antibody complex is not cleared in our body. It is not cleared, it are still present in our body. Maybe the huge amount of antigen antibody is present in our body, or maybe the antigen is specifically has an affinity towards our tissue or our blood vessel. So this complex will do? This complex will go and bind with our blood vessels. It can go and bind with our blood vessels, or it can go and bind with our tissue. It can go and bind with our tissue if they are not cleared. In this condition, what will happen? In this condition, same they will activate some kind of complement system, or they will activate some cells. So in this condition, you can see, for example, here there are antigen antibody complex. This green color is antigen antibody complex. In this condition, you can see that they have activated the complementation system. Let's see in detail what is happening in this condition. So first of all, for example, you have injected antigen, and what is happening? This antigen has bound with the antibody. So they have formed an immune complex. They have normally formed an immune complex. That normally happens. Now this immune complex is not cleared, is not 100% cleared from our body. So it has bind with our tissue or our blood vessel. Now what will happen? Now complement proteins will come and they become activated, as they can bind with the antibody. Complementation activation will occur, due to which complementation proteins will form. For example, C3 will get converted into C3b and C3a. Same C4 will get converted into C4a and C4b. What this B part will do? They will bind with the antigen. But the A part, what this A part can do? This A part can activate another proteins, and they can call another cells also to come on that location. So they can act as chemokines also. So what will happen? For example, here you can see C3A, C4A and C5A activates the mast cell, and what mast cell has done? Mast cell has secreted histamine, due to which the secretion of histamine has causes vasodilation. With that, what is happening? With that, the C3A, C5A, C5B, and 6, 7 this whole complex has attracted the neutrophil also. They have worked as a chemokine, due to which what is happening, due to which neutrophils are also moving to the side where the antigen antibody complex are present. With that, this complex is also activating, or this complement system is also activating neutrophil, due to which they are also releasing lytic enzymes. So in short, what is happening? A huge number of cells are coming at the location where this immune complex are present. Histamine is releasing. Neutrophils are acting as a lytic enzymes. They are releasing the lytic enzymes, and more number of neutrophils are coming. More and more number of mast cells are there. So what they are causing? They are causing the cell destruction of our body, as well as they are trying to destruct this immune complex, but with that they are also destructing our cells also, because these lytic enzyme will start destructing our cells also. So in this condition, what is happening? In this condition, basically complement system is becoming activated, and due to which number of cells are coming at the location and they are causing the destruction. So this kind of condition is known as type 3 type of hypersensitivity. This is the type 3 hypersensitivity. Now this hypersensitivity can cause severe damage. For example, in the condition, if we cannot eliminate the antibody antigen complex 100%. For example, in autoimmune disorders, the antigen will always be present in our body because it's autoimmune disorder. The antigen is of our itself. Still our body is considering it as a foreign antigen. So in that condition, it won't be cleared at all. 100% it can't be cleared. So in this condition, for example, systemic lupus erythematosus, in which the antigens are our own DNA. The antigens are our own DNA and antibody are binding with this. So it can't be cleared because it's our body part, it's our DNA. Similarly, vasculitis can occur. What is vasculitis? Vasculitis occurs when the antigen antibody immune complex is bound with the blood vessels. So if they are bound with the blood vessels, what these cells will do? They will start damaging the blood vessel. Similarly, glomerulonephritis can occur. What is glomerulonephritis? Is when the antibody antigen complex is bind with the kidney. It has bind with the kidney, so the cells will cause damage to the kidney cells. So due to which this can lead to the glomerulonephritis. So this kind of condition can occur when some person is suffering from hypersensitivity type 3. If we talk about the next hypersensitivity, that is type 4 hypersensitivity. This hypersensitivity, as I have already said, it occurs due to the T cells. It don't have any relations with the antibody. No antibody will be secreted in this type of hypersensitivity. So what will happen? For example, this generally occurs due to the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This occurs due to the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Or it can be done by us. A test is done by us, that is tuberculin test, to check if a person is infected with Mycobacterium tuberculosis previously or not. So this Mycobacterium tuberculosis is an intracellular pathogen. It is an intracellular bacteria. What is the meaning of intracellular? That it will go inside the cell. It will go and live inside the cell, and normally its target is macrophage. So what is happening? For example, here a cell is present, that is macrophage cell, and bacteria has come inside its cell. So this bacteria is present inside the cell, and this phase is first phase. That first time one person has come in contact with the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Now what will happen? This cell also acts as APC. What is the meaning of APC? Is antigen presenting cell. Antigen presenting, that it is presenting the antigen, that see, I have the antigen. So yes, this macrophage has the bacteria that contains the antigen. So what this macrophage will do? This macrophage will modify the bacteria and take its little bit part, the antigen part, and it will show to naive T cell. Whom it will show? It will show to naive T cell, and this T naive cell also contains a co-receptor, that is CD4 positive. Okay, how this MHC1 is showing this how this APC is showing? This APC will show by keeping the antigen on a plate. You can consider it as a plate. So what this plate is? This plate is MHC2 molecule. It will keep the antigen on the MHC2 molecule, and this MHC2 molecule with the antigen will come in contact with the T cell, that is naive T cell. Once it will come in contact with the T cell, or the T cell has come in contact with the antigen, it will become activated, or we can say it will become sensitized. It will become sensitized that yes, some kind of thing has occurred in the macrophage and some kind of antigen has been shown by APC cell, so it will become sensitized. Right now it won't do anything, just it has become sensitized, and it will start to proliferate. What it will start to proliferate. With that, it will start to differentiate. So the naive T cell will get converted into T helper 1 cell, and a number of T helper 1 cell will be formed in our body. But this all is known as sensitization phase. Right now we will not feel anything. We will not feel that our immune system is creating some kind of response, or will not feel any kind of hypersensitivity. Okay. So this has occurred for the first time, and if the macrophage has to show this antigen to T cell, it should move to the lymph node. It has to move towards the lymph node because lymph node contains the T cell. So this APC cell will move all towards the lymph node, and it will show this to T cell, and T cell will proliferate and differentiate. This will occur for the first time. Okay. After that, for example, second time the person has come in contact with Mycobacterium tuberculosis, or in the case of tuberculin test, a protein of Mycobacterium tuberculosis is injected into the person. So now what will happen? Now once again this macrophage contains the bacteria once again, or it contains this protein once again inside the cell. Once again it will show it to sensitized T cell. This time it is showing to already sensitized T helper 1 cell. Once again it is showing in the lymph node. It is showing in the lymph node. The difference is only that first of all it was showing to the naive cell. This time it is showing to the sensitized T helper 1 cell. Now what will happen? Now the sensitized T helper 1 cell will become active, because this is happening for the second time. So now it will start releasing some kind of cytokine like interferon. It will start releasing interferon gamma. With that, it will start releasing TNF alpha. With that, it will show TNF beta. TNF beta will be present on the membrane. It won't be secreted. It will be present on the membrane of the T cell. So now what will happen? These all cytokines will activate macrophage. If macrophage has become activated, what they will do? They will start phagocytosis. So normally what will happen? These macrophage will cause phagocytosis, due to which the pathogen will be cleared and a very little tissue damage will be there. But if the antigen is not easily cleared, if the bacteria is not cleared, then what will happen? Then our host will become hyperactive, or we can say our immune system will become hyperactive. Due to which what will happen? Due to which number of macrophages cell will become active. And they will create a reaction that is known as granulomatous reaction. What will happen in granulomatous reaction is that number of macrophages has become active. So some of the macrophages, what will they do? They will fuse together. And they will become a giant multinucleated cell. As many cells has fused together, so one cell will contain number of nucleus. So they have become multinucleate giant cell. With that, some of the macrophages will change their shape and they will become epithelioid like cell or epithelial like cell. So now what these cells will do, they are in huge numbers, so will take the place of normal cell. They will start taking the place of normal cells as the place is normal. So either the normal cell will remain or either the macrophage will remain. So macrophage will start taking the place and they will start creating granulomatous reaction, in which granulomass will form. That is, this kind of condition will form. And this will create a huge number of damage. A huge number of our cells will be damaged. Huge number of tissue damage will occur, and this will also release lytic enzyme that will destroy the cells. They will phagocytosis. They will phagocyte the cells. So due to which this type of condition can occur. So if you have given a person this tuberculin test and this second phase has occurred in her body or in his body, so it's confirmed that the person has already been infected with the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. And all this thing, if not occurred, then it's confirmed that the person is not has been affected with tuberculosis or Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This whole second effector phase takes around 48 to 72 hours to occur, as the formation of cytokine, the activation of macrophage, this whole take times. That's why it is also known as delayed type hypersensitivity. In this, we have taken the purified protein. So this is also known as PPD, that is purified protein derivative. That is also known as purified protein derivative, and it is taken from the Mycobacterium's cell wall. So this kind of condition is taken as tuberculin test. It also occurs in normal condition, like for example, if some woman is wearing nickel jewelry, or in some condition if we have touched some plants that is poison ivy or poison oak, in that kind of condition also hypersensitivity 4 will occur. And this type of hypersensitivity is occurring due to the nickel or due to a chemical released by this poison ivy or poison oak, that is urushiol. Now what this chemical will do and how this chemical will work, first of all we have touched it from the skin, so our skin is present. Then what will happen, this urushiol will come in our skin, in our dermis region. Here some protein are present that are our own protein. Some self protein will be present in our body. What they will do, they will come and bind with the self protein. This self protein with the urushiol will be taken up by APC cells, for example Langerhans cells. What are Langerhans cells? Langerhans cells are dendritic cells that are specifically present in our skin region. So this protein, our self protein with the urushiol, will be taken up by the Langerhans cells. Now what will happen? Once again, this Langerhans cells will show that antigen to the T cells. What they will do, they will show the antigen to the T cells. Same the condition that occurs in this condition, same condition will be repeated. Just instead of macrophage, APCs are present. Same kind of activation will occur. Everything will be same. Okay, so they have sensitized this T helper 1 cell. What they will do, this T helper 1 cell will start releasing interferon gamma. Same, it will start releasing interferon gamma. What this interferon gamma will do, this interferon gamma will activate macrophage, and what this macrophage will start, it will start releasing lytic enzyme, it will start releasing interleukin, it will start releasing TNF, that will activate more and more number of cell, and that will cause the destruction of our own cells. So this first condition is totally similar to the first what we have seen in the earlier condition. So in this also, this APC will move towards the lymph nodes and activate the T cell. Then this T cell will once again come to skin and then activate the macrophage. This whole situation is similar. But the difference is that it is not only activating TH1, it is also activating two more cells, that is TH17 as well as CD8 positive cell. Now how they are activating these two cells and how these two cells are causing destruction, let's see that. First of all, if we see how it causes the activation of CD8 positive cell. So once this urushiol has come in contact with our body, it will come and go inside our skin cell. It will be taken up by our skin cells. Now what will happen if, for example, if this is our skin cell and this urushiol is present, what it will do, it will bind with the protein that are normally present in the skin cell, and now they will enter in the ER, that is endoplasmic reticulum of this skin cell, and this urushiol with the protein will be modified here. It will be modified here. After that, what will happen? After that, this peptide and this urushiol molecule, or the modified peptide and the modified urushiol molecule, will be taken up to the cell membrane, and it will shown to the CD8 positive cell. It will shown by MHC1 molecule. In this condition, who is showing this? MHC1 molecule. Instead of MHC2, now MHC1 molecule is showing the antigen. Okay, and it is showing to CTL cell, that is cytotoxic cell. That is cytotoxic cell. And in this condition, co-receptor is also CD8 positive, not CD4 positive, instead CD8 positive. Now, as you can see, and as you can see the name cytotoxic cell. What this cytotoxic cell? This cytotoxic cell will start releasing grain enzyme and it will start releasing perforin, due to which it will start destroying the skin cell. What it will do, it will start destroying the skin cell. With that, what it will do, with that will this CTL will release interferon gamma as in the previous condition, and this interferon gamma will in turn activate the macrophage. This condition will also occur. Okay, so in this way two things has occurred. First, T helper 1 cell has worked, and in second condition CTL cell, that is cytotoxic T cell, has worked. Now the third part in which we have to activate, or urushiol has to activate Th17 cell. So in third condition is similar. What is happening? This urushiol has come inside our skin. This APC cells contains a protein on its plasma membrane that is known as CD1A protein. What contains this? This APC cell contains a protein that is known as CD1A protein. What this urushiol will do, this urushiol will come and bind with this CDA1 protein that is present on this APC or this Langerhans. This will be shown to Th17 cell, that is shown to the Th17 cell, due to which this T17 cell will become activated or become sensitized. It will start to release cytokines like interleukin 17, interleukin 22, TNF. With that, it will start releasing chemokines, that is chemokines that will attract cells. For example, it will attract neutrophil, it will attract monocytes. With that, these interleukin will activate these cells. Monocyte, it will activate monocyte, and monocyte will be converted into the macrophage. It will activate neutrophil, and they will start releasing enzymes. They will start engulfing the cells. They will start damaging the cells, due to which inflammatory response will occur. So this is all about the hypersensitivity type 1, type 2, type 3 and type 4. In this way, these all are working. If we see in short once again, type 1 is occurring due to the IgE, type 2 is occurring IgG and IgM, type 3 is occurring due to the immune complex, and type 4 is occurring due to the T helper cells or T cells. So I hope this whole lecture will clear your concept regarding the hypersensitivity, and it will clear your all doubts that are regarding the hypersensitivity. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and share this video with all your friends. Thank you so much guys. Bye bye.